I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to something. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to something. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to something. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking though, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cause I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me different every time I say I need life and make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blacks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys though too, like I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something.
What's up? What's up? What is up?
What's up?
We are live, baby.
Welcome to What's Next.
Hey, what y'all think about that video? Before we get into it, what y'all think about that video?
I'm up to something.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Great video.
That's what's up. Thank y'all for tuning in, and thank the audience whenever y'all tune in for coming to our show, our podcast. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the National Hispanic Heritage Month. And it's from September 15th to October 15th in the United States for recognizing the contributions and influences of Hispanic Americans to history, culture, and achievements in the United States. And we have some great guests tonight. So they're gonna say their name and say what they're gonna do tonight. So we're gonna start with Deanna. You up first, Deanna.
I feel like I'm back in the cohort. Like, where's the name? I always get called on first or second. So, hi, everybody. I'm Deanna Munoz, and I'm from the Latino Arts Foundation, also a part of the first cohort with Porterhouse KC. So, thank you, Dan and Sharon, for having me tonight.
Thank you for joining us. Let's just keep going around.
Yep, we got Edgar up next.
All right. So, my name is Edgar Galicia. I'm the director of Central Avenue Betterment Association. And my passion is helping the community grow, get stronger, and fight for social justice. Our programs are very defined to teach people how to fish rather than giving them fish. And so we go from there.
Thank you, Edgar. All right, Laura?
Laura Palacios. I'm a community advocate. I do a lot of things to make money, all the things necessary in life. But I'm about disrupting systems because if you don't just take the fish, even if you know how to fish, then you go hungry either way. So let's take all the fish, y'all.
There you go. Love it.
All right, we got Chico.
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
My name is Chico Sierra. I'm a artist, visual artist, musician, and writer, Kansas City. Political agitator. I don't know. Just, pissing people off. That's my deal.
All good. Appreciate you joining us.
What's up? And Gabriella.
Hello, everybody. I'm definitely in the right group with agitators and instigators. But so my name is Gabriela Ramirez Arellano. I'm a restaurant owner. My husband and I own Don Emiliano's Restaurante Mexicano in O'Fallon, Missouri. I'm also a podcast host co-founder of STO Juntos, which is a resource and education page as a response to the pandemic. And I'm the small business counselor at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan St. Louis.
Awesome. Thank you. You know, I just got nervous, right? She just said she's a podcast host. She has her own podcast. So now I feel like we got to do it the right way. Okay, we got to clean this thing up a little bit. All right. This is not normal. We normally a little bit more professional than this. I'm just playing. It's the same way every week. It's the same.
But it's International Podcast Day, so hey.
There you go. Suzanne.
Hi, everybody. My name is Susana Ramirez. I am program manager at La Placita through Central Avenue Betterment Association. I also am a small business owner. I'm sorry?
No, you got
it. We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I'm a small business owner. I have an online store on Facebook called La Boutique, and also I'm a community advocate. I have a page on Facebook called Sembrando Raíces y Tú Quién Eres con Susana Ramirez, which I use to promote small businesses or upcoming businesses, people that are starting to sell from their home and stuff. So that's me. Hello.
Awesome. Thank you. And last but not least.
Cool. What's up? I'm Gabe Munoz, and so I'm with Forward Cities, and I'm helping to lead as local director the eShip Communities Program, which is a grassroots initiative to build more diverse and inclusive entrepreneur ecosystems. So really helping to bring up, our communities, our most disconnected communities, to the resources that they need to help them survive and thrive in these times. And so, thank you guys for the invite. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And Gabe, Gabe doesn't really come. So this is streamed to Facebook. So, and I know Gabe is not on Facebook. So we're bringing him into the Facebook community right now. So we're grabbing Gabe right now.
You are.
In Facebook. So I'm just letting you all know. I think we're a little copy right here. So Alex just commented. What's up, Cynthia? We got Cynthia watching. We got Alex watching. Man, are we choppy? This is
slow.
What's going on? Something's weird. Okay.
You got too much beautiful talent on this show.
It is.
We're breaking the internet right now, I guess. Something, I don't know. Let's see if we can correct this. What is this? What is going on?
I don't know, but it's pretty bad.
It is bad.
It's like a 1980s music video in the middle.
So does it look like this live?
Can y'all hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna keep on going.
We'll just keep rocking then, I guess, and not worry about how this video is looking. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, my name is Sharon Thompson. I'm the other co-founder of Porterhouse KC, and we have.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
And I'm Morgan Ferry. I'm with Mid-Continent Public Library. Just so everybody knows, if you're out there and you have a problem, you are in the city of libraries. Just call the library. We'd love to help you.
Awesome. And I'm just Dan Smith, the other co-founder, and I'm excited of Porterhouse KC, and I'm excited to have our guest, man. I'm excited to get into this conversation. But first, if you are watching right now, if you're tuned in, chime in on the comment sections, talk to our people. If you got questions or if you just want to throw out an emoji, throw it out there just to say, hey, we're excited to have you watch this episode this Wednesday. So yeah, let's get into shout outs really quick.
Yeah,
let's let Morgan go first.
Oh man.
She was gonna save something. She had something good for us.
Okay. So my shout outs right now are a huge shout out to Forward Cities, because they're really giving people a place to talk about what it's like to be a community navigator for everyone else. Like sometimes, you walk into the room and you're like, oh no, I can't be here. I don't have the right shoes on, or nobody else looks like me, and this feels wrong. They let people who don't feel good in the other places have a place to come feel good together, and that's my big shout out.
Awesome.
You want me to go? Okay. My shout outs. Okay. I like to give a shout out to my wife. I like to give a shout out to Chess. I'd like to give a shout out to Plex Pod. We in the spot of Plex Pod, yay. I'd like to give a shout out to Kaufman Foundation. I'd like to give a shout out to David with Drip Water, who is our sponsor, our first sponsor on this podcast.
Wow.
You know, we're doing some good things. And you can go to his site at dripupwater.com and you can find his water at Sori's, Smacks, the Corner Store, Juke House, and the Country View in Kansas City, Missouri. Drip Water.
Awesome. And I want to give a shout out to my wife, Chess Inc., our partner organization, the Kaufman Foundation for all their support. Plex Pod, we are in the building, like Sharon said. CCF, Community Capital Fund, they're doing some phenomenal things and we're excited about what they're doing. And we're partnering with them, so that's fun. Iship Communities and Mid-Continent Public Library, along with Porterhouse KC and our mentorship program. Really excited about that. Do you guys have any shout outs? Let's go around. I don't know.
I forgot one. I forgot the cohorts, our cohorts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They are graduating this Saturday.
Graduating this Saturday.
Yes.
It's exciting. We're excited for them. They have been through a long 13 weeks.
Yes.
A long 13 weeks. But we got through it. We made it through it. So we're excited about the graduation on Saturday. Excuse the video. If you're watching this right now, excuse our video. For some reason, it's like really weird. But
no, it looks like we're dancing.
It does look like we're dancing. It does. It's weird. So don't.
And we know you cannot keep the rhythm.
Oh, that was good.
So we'll open it up to you guys. Some shout outs. You got any shout outs?
Deanna.
Man, I hope it doesn't happen all night. So yeah, first and foremost, definitely thank you all for having me here. Porterhouse KC cohorts, yes, we have to do a pitch this Saturday and scared to death. Don't even know what's going to happen there. So needing all the prayers for that. But first and foremost, I want to thank my family. They're always there for me. Wouldn't be here right now without them. But I'm about to cry in a minute. Want to give a huge shout out to the Morales family. TJ Morales, very good friend in our Latino community. COVID hit him and has hit a lot of our other friends and family in the Latino community. COVID is real. Wear your mask. Take care of each other. I just want to send love and prayers to the family and to the community, as well as for the Coronado family. Very excited that Chico is going to be home. He's like my little brother, and just praying for all the family to get better and well. So Latino community is strong, and we got you with our prayers and our love, and we're here for you always. And just always remember to vote. I have to give that shout out because we cannot do this without the votes. We got to stand together, the Latino community, and stand strong. I don't care what you do, how you do it, because you got to vote like nobody else is around. Vote like you're an LGBTQ, someone in your family is that, and like they don't have a housing, a job, or anything. So please just get out there and vote. That's my shout out.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
All right, Edgar, you got shout outs?
I want to give a shout out to, first of all the organizations and the people that you all are mentioning, but my shout out goes straight to the border and the people who are walking it right now up north, trying to make a better life and sacrificing everything for a better quality of life and a better life for their own families. Every one of them is welcome, and we're going to help you as much as we can to make it happen for all of you, all of us, all our community.
All right.
So we had to change the camera up because that was kind of weird. We couldn't keep doing the DJing thing. That was weird. So
I know, right? We was all right, Laura.
I'm going to give a special shout out to my husband, Edgar Palacios, founder of the Latinx Education Collaborative. Representation matters. We need more teachers that are Latinx that represent those populations in schools. I also want to give a special shout out to Surge fam. I see you in the building. I see you sending love, so I appreciate it. And my final shout out is going to be to El Paso, Texas, because I mean, I'm a product of that city. It's made me who I am. I wouldn't be as outspoken as I am if it wasn't for that place. And I agree with Deanna. go vote. Vote like it's your business. Vote like it's not your business. Vote like it's Cheese Man on the street. Like, get your vote in, please.
Yes, most definitely. Get your vote in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. D. Coop is in the building. Ultimate Game Night is in the building. Miss Peters is in the building. Coley Williams.
Got Alex.
Alex representing.
Hey. All right, Gabriella, your shout outs.
I feel like you skipped Chico.
I'm going to go back to Chico.
All right, I want to give a shout out to all my friends and community here in St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm at. And then also everybody that's filled out the census. If you haven't, please fill it out. We did get a small extension, so be sure that by October the 5th, we fill out the census, and I have to echo everyone else's inspiration, call to action, or whatever. Please get out there and vote. We need to make sure that we're counted. There are 125,000 or thereabouts Hispanic eligible voters in the state of Missouri. We need to make sure that all of us get out there.
All right, Chico.
Shout out to my partner. She's up with keeping our son busy, so he's not up all of the nights, and just like essential workers, like educators, nurses, immigrants working in the fields. When California is on fire, we got immigrants holding down our food, like all the stuff that we need to live is brought to you primarily by immigrants. So shout out to them, always essential. People making a minimum wage, working their asses off so we could get fast food when we need it. Just been working this whole time, and shout out to everybody giving everybody the opportunity to vote, like people out there registering, people offering rides to polls and getting all that done, because I think it's one of the most important times in my life to vote. I mean, it's always been important, but especially now, for everybody involved to get out, vote, get this clown out. Yeah, that's about
Thank you, Chico. All right, Susanna.
No problem.
Hello. I want to give a shout out first and foremost to my awesome children, that they put up with me and are patient with me and everything that I do. Like today, I was like, get the iPad ready, do this, do that. So I want to definitely thank them. I want to definitely give a shout out to all of you guys for everything that you guys do. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. The opportunities that I've been given also, I want to give a shout out. If you are not registered to vote or you have not filled out your census, you can definitely come out to La Placita on Saturday, October 3rd, and El Centro is out there helping to do that. So those are my shout outs. Thank you.
Susanna. All right. We have
Awesome.
Gabe.
It's my turn.
What's up, Gabe?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely got to give out a shout out to my wife. She's taking care of the kids and doing all the day-to-day stuff, as well as carrying down the household and working full time. So especially the work from home. So out to her, to Morgan. She killed it at the Navigator Cross City. The Cross City convening we did. We got so many compliments on all the great stuff you put out there. So thank you, Morgan. And to Porterhouse as well. So we're launching the mentorship program with the both of you. So appreciate all the work you guys are doing and putting that. It's going to be kicking off next Monday. So excited for that. To the Chiefs, great win on Monday. So still falling off that energy from there. And they're just to the hustlers, the creators, the makers out there doing what they can to keep their business alive and going. So we're here to help support.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe.
Awesome. So now I guess we can get into the questions. So this is for the whole group. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Deanna, I'm gonna go with Gabe first, and then we'll just go back, right? We'll do that. So Deanna doesn't feel like she's being picked on or anything like that. So we're excited. Like I said, we're really excited for the show. We got entrepreneurs, advocates, artists. We want to know a little bit about your background. So I know that a lot of folks that are watching may know you, but there's also some folks that are watching that may not know you. And so we want our goal of ours is exposure to our guests. That's a big part of this whole show, right? Is to be able to, we call it cross-pollination, right? Like we want to make sure that we're in the right communities, and we want to make sure that our communities are in the right communities. So that's why we just kind of do this thing. So tell us a little bit about your background, and then how you got into the work that you are in now. So, Gabe.
Yeah, I'll try to do the quick version.
Sorry. Hey, I want to say too that we don't have to pay for a room. This is no rental room space. We are not paying, nobody's going to kick us out of this situation. So if you feel like you need to express yourself. It's okay. I'm just letting you know.
All right, well, I appreciate that.
You got the floor.
How far I can go here.
You got it.
Yeah. Good. So I was born and raised in Topeka, Kansas. My dad immigrated from Mexico. From Mexico when he was a teenager. Met my mom, and then had 9 kids. So I'm the second oldest of 9 kids. And growing up in elementary school, my dad ended up starting a side business, hustling, selling T-shirts on the corner lot. Had a lot of success doing that, so he ended up having to make a decision whether he's going to close the business up for the wintertime or strike out and try to open up a physical shop. So he ended up opening up a store, really geared towards the Latino community, and selling everything from cowboy boots to cow heads, cactus, CDs, calling cards back in the day. So just a bit of everything, and had a lot of success. But he also was had a machismoism type of mentality where he didn't want to ask for help. He didn't know where to go to for help. And because this was new type of product, new type of customer base that people hadn't seen before. And so he started to fall behind in taxes, doing paperwork with the business and whatnot. Like a lot of our small businesses, they try to do it all themselves. And he ended up having to close down his business due to back taxes. So I was going to school when he and trying to figure out what I wanted to study. And I was studying computer science at that time. And so I wanted to be able to help my dad. So then I switched my major to finance and entrepreneurship. And that's what I ended up wanting to be able to help small businesses like my dad. And so went to Washburn University, graduated. And then right when I was graduating, had been doing a lot of volunteer work in the community. We helped him put on the Fiesta Mexicana in Topeka, which we had grown that festival up pretty well over my time volunteering there. Was also at that time we were pushing for Dream Act in Topeka, and so started to get involved politically with that. And then I had my passion for entrepreneurship. So right when I was graduating, gentleman I was volunteering for a lot, Carlos Gomez, had been selected to be president for the Hispanic Chamber. And so he saw my 3 passions that I enjoyed and loved. And so he invited me to come and take a position over here with the chamber. Had no idea what the position was going to be. And I was intimidated when I first came to KC because I was like, man, how am I going to navigate all these highways? And I was just so intimidated. I didn't know anybody up here. But it's been a fun ride. Ended up a year later, my first year, started a group called Young Latino Professionals. To get an opportunity for Latinos to be able to network with each other, to be able for professional development and their community service. And then it's just taken off from there. I ended up working at the chamber for 12 years and then took on this fellowship with the Forward Cities. So, yeah.
See, Gabe, I didn't know any of that about you, and we've been around each other a little bit. I didn't realize you had such a huge family, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So most of us are all in the nonprofit world. So yeah.
Wow.
So it's been a passion for us to give back. So yeah.
Facebook is about to explode. I'm just letting you know that. Gabe is on Facebook, guys. He's on Facebook.
I don't have an account, but yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm calling you out. Susanna, a little bit about yourself and kind of what got you into what you're doing right now.
Okay, well, I was born in California. My parents are from Guanajuato, Mexico. I am one of 5 children. Gabriela is my sister.
Okay.
I've been, yes, we grew up in, yes. Yeah, she's my sister.
I can see the resemblance.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Uh-huh.
Sorry,
yep. So we grew That's okay. We grew up in St. Louis. I moved to Chicago for a few years, and then I came back to St. Louis. And then in 2008, I had the opportunity to transfer to Kansas City with my job. And I've been out here in Kansas City since 2008. I've always loved hustling. I've always loved hustling. So I've done that for a very, very long time. I have started a small business online called Iamd.c, where I sell a lot of different items, mostly like handcrafted items for Mexico. I am also the program manager at La Placita with Central Avenue Betterment Association. Edgar is my boss. Yay! I'm a community advocate now. I don't live in the community of Kansas City, Kansas, but I have made myself a part of that community. I live in Blue Springs, Missouri, but I love being out there. I love working out there. I love being out there. I love working at La Placita. I am also a community advocate. I have a page on Facebook called Sembrando Raíces y tú quién eres, Susana Ramirez, where I help promote small businesses, upcoming businesses, people that are starting out from their home, just to get the word out, to let people know that they're there, that they sell an awesome product or awesome food or whatever it is that they're selling. So that is what I do. And like I said, I'm a program manager at La Placita, and that has been something awesome for me. How I got involved is Day of the Dead. In 2017, I believe it was the first, 2016. Right, Edgar? Was it 2016. I saw an ad on Facebook that there was going to be this event, and I wanted to go sell all my items my product. At that time, I made treats. So I contacted him, and I was a vendor that first year. And then after that, I loved all of it, everything that happened that day. And I sent him an email, and I let him know that I was interested in volunteering. If there's any opportunities for volunteering, I'm your girl. I want to help. So that's how we got started. And I volunteered in 2017, 2018, 2019. And then I became part of Central Avenue Betterment Association. So that's how it happened. And it's awesome. I love it.
That's awesome.
We just couldn't get rid of her.
Huh?
We just couldn't get rid of her.
No. I tried, but you didn't want me to go. No, just joking. No, I love being at La Placita and everything that we've been working on, and now we're partnering up a little bit with Morgan and with my sister, and I'm just excited. This is all new to me. I'm learning, and I love it because I definitely want to be able to help the community and the small business owners like myself, because I know what it's like not to know, and to have somebody to be able to explain it to me on my level is awesome. So
Yeah.
I love that. We got to get that group, your Facebook page. You got to put that in the comments if possible. So
yes, I will.
And follow you and all that good stuff.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Gabriela.
Well, now that Susanna gave it away, so she's my youngest sister. Out of the five of us, I'm the oldest. I was born in Guanajuato, actually, and my family came to California when I was pretty young. And eventually we ended up in Missouri because of the General Motors Assembly Center. So we moved here. I went to Mizzou, got married, and we moved to Michigan. So I was there for 20 years. And then basically divorce happened. And at that time, I had never worked. And there I was without a place to live, without a car, anything. So my other sister took me in, and I had to reinvent myself. I had to figure out what could I actually do. And I remember being at the unemployment office, because in order to get cash assistance, you have to be applying for work. And she's like, okay, so what can you do? And I'm like, well, I have a master's degree, but the only thing I really can do is speak Spanish and lead Girl Scout troops, because I had been a Girl Scout volunteer for a long time. So I put it out into the universe, and probably less than 2 weeks later, the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan opened a position for a Hispanic Initiative Coordinator. So suddenly I found myself in Southwest Detroit, in the Hispanic community, recruiting not just girls to become members of Girl Scouts, but female adults to also be volunteers as Girl Scout leaders. And the Girl Scout cookie sale, I know you guys have heard about it. You've heard that that's the biggest entrepreneurship training for girls, and it truly is. And that's kind of where my passion for entrepreneurship also started, to watch the girls in their troops to make a difference in their communities. So around that time, I got remarried, and my husband wanted to open a Mexican restaurant. That was his dream. And so at that time too, we were just looking at places. We decided to come back to St. Louis. He opened the restaurant in 2015. So we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And I honestly didn't know what it would be like to come back to Missouri. I was a little bit worried because I didn't have a great first experience when we arrived in 1985. But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. The community has really been supportive. And as I got here, I actually started working at the Hispanic Chamber in St. Louis and really kind of got my feet wet to help small businesses. That's what I had been doing in Detroit. And when I spoke with my boss, I actually was interviewing for a different job. And when he realized the background that I had, he said, you know, we've been talking about developing a position like this in the past, and so come on board. But then after I got here in 2016, I started to see that there were other needs, right? We didn't really have a voice as a Hispanic community in St. Louis. And that was one of the reasons why the podcast was so important to me, because I wanted to make sure that that we could elevate and empower Hispanic, Latino, bilingual professionals and small business owners. It's not enough to be here. We have to promote each other and really celebrate each other. And so the podcast was really exciting for me at the time. I also ended up writing a book, and I didn't mention it earlier, but it's a volunteer position. So sometimes I discount it, but I am the executive director at the Bossa Foundation. So we give out 10 $1,000 grants twice a year to first-time entrepreneurs, and then put them through a cohort, probably similar to the one that you guys do for 10 weeks. So it's been an amazing journey for me. I have truly come to love St. Louis and the community that is here, but there's also so much work still to be done, which is why my friend Lourdes Treviño Bailón and I started STL Juntos, because when the pandemic hit, there was nothing that was in Spanish. The governor's order, the stay-at-home orders. And early March, we kept saying, okay, somebody's going to do it. You know, some organization will do it. Somebody's going to take care of it. And at that time, we realized we were the somebody. You know, you hear about that statement. So we started doing the translations. We started telling people, don't come out of your house. Don't go this. Or how do you not get infected, wash your hands, social distancing, all of that. Because we were seeing that although there's information in Spanish in other states, the community in St. Louis was looking at it as if that's over there. That's not here. I don't have to worry about it right now. Mm-hmm. And so our page really just grew overnight. I mean, some weeks when we look at the insights, we're reaching over 56,000 people because the need is there. And so we wanted to make sure that we provide. So it's really a page that provides resources, information, education. We're not providing any direct services ourselves. We're basically just translating and resharing the resources that are already out there. We do get involved a lot just because through Facebook Messenger and the fact that the Latino community spends a lot of time on Facebook, we get a lot of direct asks. So it's very easy to be up late at night at 11 o'clock still answering messages. I think that now that the pandemic has extended, we're in month 7, people are kind of loosening up on some of those initial restrictions. So again, we're trying to remind them, don't let your guard down. There's still so much that you need to make sure that you're taking care of. So really just want to make a difference. I know you talked a little bit about what influences, one of the questions was what influences our work. And it's really just having had a firsthand of experience of what it's like.
So Gabriella, you can't do that. You can't go to we gave you a cheat sheet, but you can't go into the next question. No, I'm just
I told you to watch out.
I'm just kidding.
No, I get it. I'll wait.
I'm kidding. Hey, so what's the name of your book that you wrote?
My book is an anthology that I wrote with a couple of different friends of ours.
Okay.
And
So
the name of your podcast.
the name of the podcast is called Auténtico Podcast. I can put it in the comments if you guys want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we can actually learn, how to do a real podcast.
No.
No. Chico.
What was the question again?
So,
Just
a little about your background.
Oh yeah. I'm an artist from El Paso, Texas. I've been in Kansas City for a long time. Yeah. Big EP. Like I'm just an artist. That's what I've done music, I write a little bit. But mostly I'm known for like visual art. I sort of go with what's my passion is at the time. So sort of like topics that let people touch on where I'm needed, like people, I do a lot of commissions and stuff. I've been doing a lot of murals lately, and my background is just like, I've just always done like high school dropout, worked manual labor for most of my like adult life. And I would do art on the side, like just sort of, and I've always been like politically conscious and stuff, but it was always just sort of out of my reach to sort of combine the two, like sort of this hobby and like things I wanted to say, and didn't feel like I could get out of like the situation I was living in. I've worked like every job you can think of, like from like, I don't know, plastic injection molding machines to like, I taught a class at Avila. So like the breadth of like just random, like weird jobs I fall into. Like now I'm like educator and I'm working my artwork and helping my partner run her business. And she's actually like, she's a genius as well. So she helps me out with my stuff. And we're running like my business, her business from the house, from home. And we got our son who's like going through cancer treatments and stuff. So we're just sort of like living it all up and trying to, surviving it, but also like maintaining community, which has been like a huge help, like just with, treatment with my son and all this stuff. And I just enjoy being like a community-based artist and entrepreneur, if you can call what I do that. It's just sort of so random how things happen being an artist that I don't know if I can call anything I do anything except just like I'm like a visual mercenary, I guess. Like just, I do what I can when I can. And a big part of that is just learning. Like, I think one thing I'd like people to know is that like, as something presents itself, if I don't feel like I can do it, I just like learn how to like, I've had to learn how to like make videos, do photography, edit photos, design work, and just all these things that sort of just picked up. Like, knowledge isn't this thing that you can like, that you have to go to college for. I'm not knocking like education. I think people, like, if you have the means, do it. And if you don't, like, still do whatever you can. There's a huge, like, I liked it. Like, I didn't learn a lot from like my folks. They're great people. They're just me, I was hard to teach. But YouTube, man, like, you can learn anything on YouTube. Like, don't even like front, like, you need to learn to change a tire, YouTube. You need to learn how to edit a video and then export it like in the best quality. There's some dude somewhere who wants you to learn how to do all this stuff. So, and there's also just people in your community, like, like you can learn a lot from just asking people, just getting a conversation with somebody. That's what I've learned from like being like just some grunt who's like manual, like from doing like driving a forklift and doing that and just thinking that was going to be my life, to like being asked to speak at the Nelson, about art and like the history of art, and doing complex sort of like creating concepts like within my art that like seemed so out of touch from like my last show was just about genetics and how that informs our like genetic memory and all this stuff. And it's like, I thought about this stuff when I was just like driving trucks, and like, you're like, is this something other people think about, and it is. And like, there's connections and all this stuff. And I wish people who did do sort of like manual labor jobs that like are, menial or whatever. I think just opening them up and like creating, like I want to reach them with my work and how I say things, because I believe there's like a connection with everybody, and everybody has the potential to be greater and have like bigger ideas, bigger thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling, so I'll just shut it down. Shut me off. I was like cut myself off.
Everything, a lot of the stuff that you're saying just makes so much sense. I mean, that's a part of the reason why we've kind of done what we've done, because you get to a point where you understand that, the universe aligns with you when you decide to, when you start following your passion, right? When you start finding out what your passion really is, the universe kind of aligns with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, prayer works, but alignment, is everything. And the more that you work, the more that you put yourself into that space, the more that comes out of it. So I get it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
100%.
Taking that extra step. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing that. We go to YouTube all the time to look up everything and how to learn how to do everything, because we do editing, video editing and shooting and do all that stuff. So I learned how to edit on Premiere Pro, how to import, export, all that other stuff, all on YouTube.
Facebook questions,
everything.
Instagram, yeah, it's all there.
Everything.
Yeah, you just type how to and just go through it. Hey, you get yourself a like college education and just like
it's gonna be there.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Laura.
Bam, bam, bam. So I come from El Paso, Texas, to Houston, Texas, H-Town, to South Dakota. Why South Dakota? Law school. I met my best friend Alicia Kennedy, who's running for lieutenant governor. Just had to.
He's a guest of the show, former guest of the show.
I know, man. You have nothing but good people. So I decided I was finished because, like, law, as you are seeing in today's America, is not just. And I was like, I didn't get in this to be in an unjust system. So I said I was about disrupting systems. So I was like, I am not going to be a part of this. I'm out. My friend was like, well, come to Kansas City. So I credit being in Kansas City to Alicia Kennedy. And my first job was representing janitors. Shout out to all the janitors in all the buildings in Kansas. Janitors are the reason Kansas City is clean, period. Y'all don't understand how much drama janitors, especially non-bilingual janitors, like the level of BS, I'm trying to edit myself, the level of BS that Spanish janitors have to go through, and sometimes caused by people like us that are bilingual. So I'm gonna just call that out too. But I started learning that you can't create and affect change without doing the arrow at where it hurts, and that's policy. So I'm all about getting people of color elected, because until our highest offices reflect this beautiful panel that we have here today, like, what are we really doing? Just sitting around letting the soon-to-be minority, like, I just want to call that out too. The soon-to-be minority, we just gonna let them like continue to like take over? No. So did that. Worked for nonprofit. Saw a few opportunities because #representation matters, and I wasn't seeing it where I thought it needed to be seen in the classroom. Moved on to corporate America because I was like, you know what? Let me figure out how they make this money so I could take this money and put this money where it needs to be. And that was cool. Now I'm in philanthropy because, money makes the world go round. Until you figure it out, like, you got to continue to figure it out. And so at the end of the day, what's my background? I'm a disruptor. I'm about that life. Let's go on strike. Let's shut down streets. Let's make people listen. And how I got into this work, I have this innate level of passion and this like I don't give a on like what the outcome is, because if there's not enough people like me who are willing to fight the system, then like nothing's gonna change. And I'm not about that life for our future generations. So that's me.
I love it. I love it. We actually, our first official business was we were janitors.
Yep, Smith, Thompson, and maintenance.
Yes.
We started a maintenance company for a apartment complex, and we had to go help them flip apartments. And so they outsourced us. So we were janitors too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was pretty rough.
Absolutely.
It is. It's hard work.
Section 8 apartments, man. It wasn't no joke. Edgar.
Hello, hello, hello. I don't know where to start. I mean, I'm a 55-year-old guy that, has a long story of a lot of experiences and just going through stuff. But I'm gonna say that life does not owe me a thing. I live my life fully at all times, at all levels. And the funniest thing is that I swore to my grave to never get involved into community and politics. And what you know is that after going through my life experience and reaching the sky and falling to hell, I found myself in community, and I found myself the happiest ever. Um, my family comes from politics, and I could, I was going to middle school, and I was the mayor's grandson, and popular, and all that. So it's kind of tough to uh, have said no to uh, community, but I moved on, and I learned to be a strategist, learned from very young age to find ways to get things done. And they were very selfish, honestly. I wanted a motorcycle, and I figured out that by selling my furniture, I could make the money and buy me a bike until my mom found out. And so, that taught me how to get from point A to point B. And all my life has been about that. And I was a business owner, a director of this, director of that, uh, international business all throughout. But again, when push comes to shove, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. Something was missing. And at that moment, uh, I had to find something. Okay, I always educated myself. I am a graphic communicator, graphic designer. I am a marketing licensed marketer. I have business administration. I am a business coach, and I even certified as a professional salesperson. And so anything I got into, I always got really deep into and figure out how to get things done until I couldn't figure out, and I lost everything. I went bankrupt and didn't know what to do. And that was 10 years ago. And hustling, I found myself being able to help or to give solutions or find ways. And I found myself walking on Central Avenue. That was the greatest thing that happened to me. It humbled me. Uh, it taught me that my value wasn't in the millions, but with the people. And I'm very, very, very happy. Uh, I've never done anything on my own that comes from community, but I had to learn to to stay humble and accept people's input and help in making things better as a team rather than just me being the director and telling people what to do. And honestly, being a strategist is the best thing that has happened to me because that gives me the power to be very analytical and look at how things operate. And today's passion of mine is to teach our people what our advantages are in staying humble, being building equity, saving, cash purchases, controlling our prices and our cost of living, and actually self-investing. And I bless God for the Latino community today being the biggest disruptor to the system because we don't use banks, but we own our lives. We buy our buildings. We make our business thrive without being part of the system. And I believe that the reason the borders are being shut down and we're being called um, criminals and rapists and all that is because they want to scare the people who are already scared about us or get scared about differences. They want to continue scaring them about good people coming in and working hard and making this economy viable, rescuing the inner city and making things happen for everybody because we don't use their system and we don't slave financially on our own. And so that to me is the biggest thing that we can do as state stay being the biggest disruptor of the system and not letting the reality and the negativity of this country put us down. We have a lot to offer, and I believe we will continue. As long as we stay together, we will continue offering it and making things happen for our community of all colors.
I so appreciate that. And Edgar, me and Edgar have been in some spaces together, and I love Edgar's candidness because I guess there is no reason to not just be who you are, right? And be your true self in any area that you represent yourself in. And I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it in person and digitally as well through e-communications. But I just want to say we appreciate you and your work. We really do. And the motorcycle pics. I mean, you know, and you can make us jealous. My wife won't let me get a motorcycle, so I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Passion. You got to live your life with passion, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Passion with a purpose. I got a bicycle, but not a motorcycle.
Let's get one.
That's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah, what you think?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I am first generation on my dad's side. So I hear a lot of people are from Guanajuato. My dad is from Guanajuato. My mom is first generation on her side. And I actually come from a family on my mom's side with about 800 people in Kansas City who I'm related to. It's actually kind of insane because every time I meet somebody, it's like, oh, we're cousins. Like, didn't even know. So the family keeps growing and growing. So I bet we're way over that now. But I kind of got into this because my dad lived in the projects in the West Side, and growing up, you know, he faced a lot of discrimination and stereotypes, you know, being undocumented and not speaking English very well, you know, just growing up in that hardship. So, you know, as he grew older, his main thing was to, whenever he had a family, to ensure that they were never put in the situation that he was put in. So when he met my mom being a first generation and already kind of being more Americanized, her family are the Aguirre Center, you know, just all these amazing politicians and mayors, and they've really done really well. So for him, you know, he felt like he had to kind of like be up to that. And so we moved all the way out to Olathe, farthest place you could ever put us, on 100 and something when nothing was out there. And I went to school with dominantly white kids until my 8th grade. And I really didn't know who I was. I would see my cousins on weekends, or parties and things like that. But for me, with my dad, it was just very much the be American. Never show that you're Mexican, because you will get frowned upon, and you will never get a job, and you will never make something of yourself. So you have to fit in with everybody that you're around. So he was very strict about that, and I never knew why. You just grow up thinking that this is normal. This is how everybody lives. I would see my cousins and stuff living, in Argentine and Rosedale, and then the West Side, and it was just like, oh, it's scary. It was scary for me, because it was like, unprotected. And I never knew my dad was undocumented. He carries his green card now and talks about it, but he never talked about it when we were growing up, ever. He tried to go to school to be an architect. He loved to draw. I remember paintings in his closet of Mexican American, pictures, and it was phenomenal. And thinking back on it now, but he never made it there. He became a mailman, and he actually retired 48 years being a walking mailman. Like, never was in the office, always just walked the streets. My mom did the same thing. She wanted to be a fashion designer, never got to do it. Took care of her family and just tried to do the best that she could so that we could have a better life. So when they got divorced, we moved to Carnes Boulevard into my my grandmother's brother's home. And that literally threw me into a culture shock, because I never grew up, around people that looked like me, or had families like mine, all the time. And so, I lived across the street from like these amazing, big, huge families, the Hernandez's, and the Juarez's, and all these amazing, beautiful families. And we all come in, and they're just like, who the hell are you guys? Like, acting out like you're too better than everybody else. You're not Mexican, you're not white, or you think you're white. And I never spoke Spanish. My dad would not allow it. My grandmother always spoke it. My mom knows it. But us kids, we never were allowed to speak it. So, just being thrown into that world, at the age of 12, when you're about to start freshman year of high school, it was hard. So from there, I started at St. Teresa's Academy for a year, 2 years. Never made it through. Went on to junior year and went to J.C. Harmon, Alta Vista, Paseo, any high school you could think of. I think I tried in my junior year. And, I had my son when I was 16. And, from there, it was just ran away about 5 or 6, 7 times, 10 maybe. I don't know. I can't even count now. And just didn't know who I was. Didn't have a support system. I didn't have really any rules. My grandparents raised us, and you think about that now, and you're like, man, I just love them so much for putting up with us. They had a hard job to take care of 3 kids. And that wasn't what they're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to love your grandkids and just spoil them. Instead, they're like trying to raise us. And it was hard, and we did not make it easy. So fast forward, I tried to go to college, never made it through. Just not really well in school. Went into business, got lucky and got into Hallmark. Very lucky. I don't know how I did that now that I think about it, but I've been there 13 years now. Met my husband. He's from Mexico City. He too was undocumented when he came, and that was the first time. So my family grew up with lowriders. My dad's family, that's what they did on the side. Like, their backyard garages would be lowriders, and I grew up just thinking this is just how everybody lives, right? And it was just so awesome to go to my Uncle Lupe's house over in Argentina and just be like, this is what they do. They hang out, and they do build these cars, and people come to them, and there's just amazing, like, family type things. And so when I met my husband, he was doing that. And Gabe, I just have to tell you, and shout out to Gabe Munoz, if you ever need anything, oh my God, sorry, you're gonna blow up now. Like, with he has been my sole survivor, like, with my husband, because my husband did his work out of his garage, illegally, for many years. And we didn't know any better. He doesn't know any better. He's just trying to make a living. A lot of undocumented people cannot, make money. They can't make legal money. I mean, you have to do what you have to do to survive. And people would think about that now, and they hear about it, they're like, oh my God, why? How could he ever do that? He's a criminal. Like, that's illegal. And it's just like, you know Aaron. Like, do you think of him that way? And they're like, oh God, no. Like he would give the shirt off his back. Like, no. And I go, well, that's the way pretty much everybody is. You know, it's you just have to realize that when you're living in a world, you have to figure out how to live. And so Gabe has really been helping us because you're right. You know, banking is hard. Taxes are hard. Knowing what forms you need, knowing how to find an accountant, trusting an accountant, 110%. We trust no one. You know, it's like, it is our money. We'll deal with it, pay cash. You know, this is what we got. You know, we pay everything down front. It's just always been that way. So when these loans came up for the PPP and all that, my husband couldn't get them. We couldn't get any of them. And, you know, even if we did, we probably wouldn't even have the right paperwork to go farther than the first stage. And going into that, you know, going into the whole how I got into Latino Arts Foundation kind of goes into that story too, is because I wanted to be an artist when I was younger, never had the access or opportunity to do so, and didn't know anyone that was like that when I grew up, even in my older age. So when my kids started doing the art and the writing, I was like, I'm not going to let them do what I did. Like, they are going to get a mentor, they are going to do what they love to do, and I'm going to make it happen. I have 4 kids, and at that time, I could not spend $100 at a center, you know, and send one kid. So I was like, there has to be something out here that maybe is low cost, something around my home, which was in KCK at the time, and there was nothing. And when I asked the teachers, you know, at the school, they were like, she can do it when she's in high school. She can do it when she's in college. Stop pushing her to do it now. I'm like, okay, so we're just not going to give our younger kids an opportunity? Like, I don't understand that. So I ended up going to Hallmark and saying, hey, I'm going to meet with the director there at within our diversity inclusion, and I'm going to ask, hey, how do you start a not-for-profit? You know, simple as that. I don't know how to do it, but it has to be done. And so basically he was like, don't ever start a not-for-profit. Don't ever do it. Just find a place that will take you, and we will get the volunteers for you, because you work at a place that has writers and artists, and I'm sure they want to help the community. So thank you to El Centro and Irene Garillo, because she was my saving grace. Like, she literally let us use her space for over 8 years, 10 years, to support the many, many kids that have been come through our program, which at the time was called the Scribblers Company. At no cost, we provided the supplies, and without Irene, we would not have had a space at all to do this. And Irene let us do that for so long, not even knowing me. She was just like, I don't know you, but I love your passion and I love what you're doing. It has to be done, and I want to be a part of it. Okay, let's just do it. So she not only has done that, but she's also supported the Latino Arts Festival that we've been now in our 4th year, which we're ending tonight. That was virtual for September. We've had over maybe 40 artists attend that. And again, no cost to them. They can sell their art. We take nothing from our artists. That is our main goal, is to always provide all we can for them, never taking anything from them. So that is kind of what we started. So flash forward to Queer Eye, that happened. Rachel Mendez, who's the producer of Queer Eye, was from Texas, and she was like, hey, I'm looking for somebody that's Latino in Kansas City. I'm Googling Latinos in Kansas City because I can't find anybody because we're all so segregated. And I was like, I found you because I found the festival. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, but whatever. And she was also looking for my husband because of the lowriders. Never been a part of anything like this in my entire life. I have to tell you, it has probably been the most crazy, most scary, and still at this point, most vulnerable experience I've ever had to deal with in my entire living life. But without them, I would not be probably sitting right here. Like, I wouldn't probably know Dan. I probably wouldn't know Laura. I probably wouldn't know Chico. Like, I wouldn't probably know any of you, because them giving me that access to have a space and to push me forward to get a 501 and to do something with what my dreams were created for, I would not have what I'm have right now. So ever since I had that experience, I've done nothing but try to give back everything that they've given me to my community, because what they gave me wasn't like a soul thing for me. It was a gift they gave that I'm supposed to be giving out to everybody else. So with that, I started the Latino Arts Foundation that now has the Latino Arts Festival with it as well. We are about to open the Chicano Art and Cultural Center, Kansas City, through the Porterhouse KC cohort and through that entrepreneurial program in 2021. I am a podcast host with the Midwest Chicana branding. And the reason I did the podcast was seriously just because I wanted to ensure that people like myself had a space to talk and to be heard. Because when I was before Queer Eye and before anyone knew me, no one ever asked me to be on a show. No one ever asked me to talk. No one cared what the hell I was doing. And it wasn't even about me. It's the fact that we have amazing, aspiring artists who are doing phenomenal work that are not being noticed or seen or heard from. And that is ridiculous to
And
me be happening.
And I was just gonna say that's a part of the benefit of the platform, right? I mean, some of us don't have larger platforms to be able to highlight others, right, and bring them on and do the things that you're doing through the connections that you've had in Queer Eye and other, you know, obviously in other endeavors as well. So I think it's dope. I think it's awesome.
Well, and I've heard that from Edgar Palacios. Shout out, Laura, to your amazing husband, who's my chair at Latino Arts Foundation. One thing he's always told me a million times, and you tell me this too, Dan, you tell me this too, Sharon, you are an access point now. You are that door that you always say is closed. You're now that door, and you can make sure that you're leaving it open for everybody else and providing that access. So I've been shifting my mind from, oh, hey, no one's inviting me, you know, we're not here, you know, you need to hear us, to we are here, and this is who I have, and you're gonna listen to everybody here that's with me. So
everybody on this panel is a door.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Everybody on this panel is a door, right? Yeah. Whether you think you accept it, realize it or not. And Gabe, I think you've been called to Facebook again. And so we need you to go ahead and reactivate that account, brother, so we can invade your DMs and your messages and all that good stuff, because you know that'll happen, right?
We'll have to look into that. We'll look. I might get in too much trouble if I do that.
I think the only way I found Gabe was on LinkedIn. He was on LinkedIn. That's the only way I found Gabe.
Yeah. I'm just on LinkedIn.
So I have a quick question. Just one name. Who or what influenced your work, and what legacy would you like to leave behind? And we can start with Edgar.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that first. I have to say that I look after my grandfather, who at all times was a center for forces to come together. And he taught me how to be a leader without being a leader. And I know I might not be making sense, but you can be straight shooter without believing that you are it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he truly taught me how to be a balanced force and be friends with everybody to get the best out of everybody and make it work for the right reason. So my grandfather, he's my hero.
Right on. I love that. Who influences you?
Oh man. So yeah, same boat. My grandfather and my dad. To see what they did. My dad had 6th grade education when he came here, and worked a lot, manual jobs. I worked beside him growing up. And so, giving up everything for his kids to be able to have success in their lives. So he's been my biggest influence.
Susanna, who's your influence?
I have to say that my sister Gabriela, she is really awesome, and she has
the low hanging fruit right there. I'm just letting you know that.
Just watching. Right now I sent her a message, and after she introduced herself and everything, and I told her, I said, you are so awesome. You really are. Because I saw the life that she had pre-divorce, and then when she got a divorce, and then she just came out like a shooting star, and she has done so many awesome things in St. Louis. And you know, I see all the posts and everything, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, you're always just so good at everything. Oh my gosh, I think she's awesome. She's really inspiring me and just motivating me, you know, to keep going. Just even before I got on this call, and Edgar knows me too. I am not tech savvy. I work for General Motors. I've been there 20 years. I can so relate to Chico, what he was talking about. You know, he thought he was going to be a Ford truck driver for his whole life. I thought I was going to be a car assembler. And you know, the opportunities have just been opening up. I have no idea how or why, or you know, where they're coming from, but I do appreciate it so much. And I know definitely can say that my sister inspires me so very much to keep going, because sometimes I don't have a master's degree. I don't have all of that fancy stuff like her, but I'm just really excited. And I guess something that but you know, like I'm not necessarily a legacy, but I just want to try and be the best person that I can be every single day and do my best. And if I can help someone, I'm your girl, you know, definitely. And just keep moving forward always.
Gabriella, try not to cry when you when you talk, but who's your influence?
I was getting a little bit emotional, and I appreciate Susanna saying that. I think for me, my influence comes from my children. I want them to see positive role models, badass women doing badass things, and let them know that they could be and do anything that they want, regardless of, you know, the circumstances that maybe society puts on us, or places, the boxes that they place us in. So and the community influences me, because like I said earlier, there's still so much work to do. And having grown up a poor immigrant with lack of language access, I know what that feels like. And I know that I have led a very privileged life that has allowed me to overcome a lot of those challenges. But the fact that those still exist for our community is what inspires me to, you know, to be on at 7, 8 o'clock at night, still doing translations because somebody needs a video edited for the census at the last minute or whatever.
I love it. I just wanted to mention, I actually went to, and I told Deanna this a long time ago, but I went to a Spanish magnet elementary school. It's back when they used to do magnet schools, was real popular in Kansas City. Yeah. So K through 5 was all half Spanish and half English. So I'm not sure how I got out of elementary school, because I literally muy poquito español, and that's all I got right there. And so I had no idea how I got out of elementary school, but I did it, and yeah, so I was bilingual at one point in time, but that was real short-lived.
I went to Latin. Chico, who influences you?
I have a wide range of influences. I say like I'm really into like Einstein as like an influence, just because of his like his ideas sort of became more than him. You know what I mean? And like I think there's just I'm not a spiritual person like at all. Like I have an aversion to spirituality. I was like a and not to knock anybody. I have my own like system of beliefs that is based on like the natural sort of, so like writers like Carl Sagan sort of influenced me to be a better person, and to like sort of I draw my like sort of life philosophy from those sort of sources. But also on the other end, like what drives me to like as a Latino and like and just a person of like who wants to like change the world is people like Emiliano Zapata, who my son is named after, and people like that, sort of like who lived a certain way and then saw that their change needed to occur, so they changed the way that they like live their lives, you know, like and just to I don't know, like I just read a lot, so like every new like person that like it inspires me is just becomes the new person that I'm just like, oh man, this guy is like life changing and stuff. And all that said, like like none of those people matter as soon as my kid was born, because I'm like, I have to like be a good person, also provide for him, like just fill all those boxes and like be the best I can be, just because I love him so much. I want him to like look up to me and all that stuff. I was going to use him as a cop, but he's not cooperating. But yeah, so like, I mean, and then like, you know, I meet people like Diana and different community. I mean, everybody in this group has like influenced like me through other people. Like that's the funny thing about Kansas City, especially the Latino community, is just like there's like dynasties of families that like people tell me about. And I'm like, oh, I know this person from them. And then when you get to interact with them, you're like, there's a lot of really amazing people changing. Oh, who are those people? But yeah, that's
awesome.
I'll let you.
Appreciate that, Chico.
All right, Laura, who influences you?
Mi gente. Not. I'm a little political. I already started. So like, not Latinx people that think they're white, so therefore vote for people that are not in our best interest. So I'm gonna call that out. Just to be clear, you don't influence me one bit. But the people who like are first generation, who are 10 generations in, the people who have been seen, are working constantly every single day to be seen, the people who like just want to be seen. The people are what influences my work. And also like I'm gonna shout out Afro Latinos. I don't see any on this group, but like I see you influence me every single day. Like in the Latino community, we have anti-Blackness things we need to get over. You influence me in the things that I do every day. So
love it. Thank you.
It's the people.
Deanna, who influences you?
So mine is definitely first and foremost my kids, because I mean, just seeing them do their work and their amazing art, like I'm just blown away. And what my child has, Chico's amazing pillow that he made, like they literally like have it in their room, like up in a corner, like as like a trophy. It's like seeing them connect with the other artists in Kansas City, and especially the artists that maybe don't get the following like they should, but they see that amazing talent, and the artists are just like family. Like they're just like, we want to help you. We love what you do. They're always encouraging. Jose Faust is definitely one of them that does that a lot with my kids. And I didn't even know him for very long. So I just give a shout out to all the amazing artists out there that whether or not you're being seen, whether or not you're being followed, I see you. My kids see you. We try to lift you up anytime we can, because you all are doing phenomenal work. And then definitely my husband, because he kicked butt trying to get this shop open 20 years ago, and being undocumented, nobody in the Hispanic community wanted to help him. Like literally, we tried to be like, hey, we're starting a business, don't know what to do, don't know how to open this. Nobody wanted him because of the stereotypes of lowriders. Like they just thought it was gonna be gang related, drug related. So he got pushed aside. He built that business alone with his dad, with his brother, with his mom, who worked at the Marriott for years, undocumented, doing that hard labor. It's crazy. So just a shout out to all those people working so hard, trying to get up their businesses. And now he's got an amazing following without marketing. So I live to be that, where I don't need marketing, and it's just word of mouth, and people are like, hey, come see her, because she's, doing this. And my kids actually got me back into my art. So I do the Midwest Chicana brand and make homemade earrings. And without them, I would not have gotten back into that art field. And it's literally therapy for me. And it's also just getting back into what I love to do. So at 44, almost 45, you can still do what you love to do.
Awesome. I love it. I love that. We got people getting hit on in the comments. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
We tried to get Gabe to come back to Facebook, y'all.
Gets me in trouble. Stalkers out there.
I love it. I love it. Morgan, what you
This has been great spending time with all of you. We've got just enough time left for one more question, and I want to kind of set the stage with this because having a month is a double-edged sword, right? Because we don't want to fetishize anything. We don't want to communicate to people that you only pay attention to the Hispanic community 1 month a year. We don't want to do that. So what do we need to know? What do we need to know about you? What do we need to know about us? And I think Laura's going to say fucking vote. But that and...
Can we cuss on this show?
I just did.
Oh my gosh. Can we cut? Sorry. No.
I'm sorry. I've been waiting to drop an F-bomb.
I was kidding.
So that's what we want to know. What's not being said here that needs to be said? And for this one, I want to start with Chico.
Like, it's hard to say. Just, I think the what needs to change. I think this is with all like segments of society, artists, like arts organizations, like podcasts, whatever, is just to make it less like to think about inclusion as a value that is a daily sort of process. Like think about how you're presenting yourself, how you present like other people that you have on the show, and not as like, because you're right, like for a long time, you know, I'm waiting, like I wait all year. I get like around September, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna start getting hit up by museums, galleries, and all these places that want to pay like Day of the Dead stuff. And it is like, you're just like, I gotta get it, well, because you want to take advantage of that opportunity, you know, but like, is that just, you know, and I wonder if, you know, like fall is a big time for like a Latino artist because of Day of the Dead and Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm just like, I try and stretch this stuff out. Like, I mean, it's just like, yes, like just think about inclusion as a value, like every single day, and diversity, and think about what, like your city, what the makeup is and how you're sort of including people in what you do. Like, it's hard for me because I'm just like an artist, and like me providing representation is about like what I put into my work, you know, and how I interact with people. And I make mistakes. Like that's the thing, is always be open to criticism, you know? And I think with the Latino community, it's hard because it can be very racist without knowing it. And like, sort of, I mean, Latino is sort of this umbrella term for like, I mean, there's Black Latinos, there's white Latinos, there's like, I mean, you go down to Peru, there's like Asian Latinos. So it's like, there's a wide variety of things, and we can't just hold on to that term and be like, I can't be racist because I'm Latino, or I can't, you know, like, I think it needs to start with us, like a personal thing. And then that sort of transitions into like daily life and how we organize and yeah, like just, I don't know, support. Like, I think there needs to be an intermingling of movements, you know, that isn't about what about us, what about them, you know, like the Black Lives Matter movement, like that I have members of my family who are Black. They're not like, it's and so it becomes about that. Like it becomes like, I'm personally affected because of somebody who is like very personally affected by that situation. And I think we need to take that on. Like we need to like check ourselves like as Latinos, and then sort of like navigate.
Absolutely.
You know,
I just wanted to say that Chico, you are actually dope.
Yeah.
Nah,
Facebook stop.
man.
All right.
Nah, man. Nah, like you're dope.
Yeah,
and I can hear it in your conversation that you're really humble, and it's cool to be humble. But I also want to say that you're dope. That's all. You're dope.
Thanks, man. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in my like creative work. You know, it's where I start getting like, I like keep myself open for like conversations about how I treat other people. And like, because like I said, I make mistakes and I do things that like, but I think that comes, that sort of like understanding comes from like growing up. Like my younger sister, she's Black, right? Like we're best friends. No, like you couldn't, but there's always been a difference about how, like the way people treated her, even though she's like the responsible one. I'm like shoplifting and shit, but like, she's like, I do dumb stuff. And because of my privilege or whatever, knowing that I'll never understand what she goes through as a Black woman in life. Like, and I'm not saying like, I wish the world was different. I wish there wasn't a difference, but because of that, I have this sort of like, I know that I don't get it, and I want to understand. So I want to bring myself into situations humbly and like, and like I said, I do mess up. But like, I believe like when I paint something, I'll look at murals I've done and be like, that's dope, like, and I'll take that all day. But I was like, yeah, but this is great. This is I love this opportunity to be like open about, relationships between people and like how to change those things. And to that's my advice, is just be open to criticism from other people. Like, yeah, there we go. Oh, thanks.
You were welcome. I've heard you say it like 4 times, and Dan and I both physically reacted to it the last time.
Yeah. I mean,
this has to stop. You were
to me though, it's like a big thing. Like I see, like my I'm gonna stop after this because I'll go off. My idea about like art and how it affects the human experience and trajectory. Like we started with art, like that was the first like science, it's just like, maybe if I draw some bulls on the wall, like it'll change something and I'll be able to like catch them faster or whatever, like we wanted to express ourselves. Like we became creative. Like that's the kickoff to like every sort of like human trajectory towards civilization, whatever. And it makes us different. It makes us special, I think. And so, saying I'm just an artist, I'll stop.
I love
Thanks for pointing it out.
Okay, Deanna, since you have to go, it's your turn next. What else do we need to talk about? What else do we need to do?
I'm definitely going to piggyback off of what Chico said, because that's 110% the truth right there, especially when it comes to artists. I'm trying to teach my own kids that they are not just an artist. They are very important, needed, and valuable as well. Definitely when you are reaching out to the Latino community, whether it's through Hispanic Heritage Month or other 365 days a year, don't pick the same people. There are so many people out here doing great work. Dan and Sharon and I had a conversation just this last weekend because I'm so tired. I'm tired of the fact that you cannot do your own homework and find the other people that are living in Kansas City that are doing phenomenal work out in KCK and KCMO. If I can walk out my door and literally go on Central Avenue and see beyond 20 or 30 people doing work that are Latino, why are you not doing that? If you really, really want to be inclusive and diverse like you say you do it. Walk the streets, find out who they are, talk to them, find out their stories. Don't want to rely on other people that you feel comfortable with. Because I'm sorry, we live in an uncomfortable world. Us Latinos have to live uncomfortably every single damn day. And if you can't get uncomfortable with it, you don't deserve us. You don't deserve us on your platforms. You don't deserve us on your Zooms. You don't deserve us on your boards. So quit asking us, hey, I need more diverse and colored people of color on my board. Find them. Quit asking us. Like, that's your job. This is your not-for-profit. Do the work. Don't bring it up on a Zoom when you have maybe one other Latino person sitting there, because right then and there, you already know you didn't even invite enough Latinos to be on this to even give you a range of people to even talk to. So I'm just very tired of it. I'm starting to get a little emotional on here because it's happening every single day, every minute. And if you're a white-centric group, don't just be white-centric and say you're inclusive, because you're not. Like, if you're not uplifting all of us people of color women the way you should be, yes, give us high fives. Yes, oh, share this, share that. No, unless you're out there with them doing the work, you are helping their not-for-profit, you are helping their business, you are helping their organization. That is what a group is. And if you're going to be the leader of a group, get out there and do the work. Get out there and be a part of that not-for-profit. Go out there on Troost and work it. Get out volunteers to work it. Don't just sit on your ass and think, oh, I have this amazing group on Facebook and I have so many people on here and some of them are people of color. Where are you? Like when the festivals come out, where are you when they need help? Like La Placita, cleaning up the yards. Where are you? Like, you don't really want us. You just want us there just because you need to have that base. And so I'm just going to be authentic here. And I'm sorry, but that's exactly how it is right now in Kansas City.
No apologies needed.
No.
No apologies needed. You're good.
And thank you. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Deanna.
Bye. Okay, Gabriella, you're next because I literally, like, calling myself out here was like, but no, you have to be in this conversation. You have to talk. You have to be here, and I kind of made you do it. And I am sorry about that, but not so sorry that I didn't make you do it. So what are we not talking about? What do we need to do next?
I mean, definitely recognize that we are a powerhouse. Although I wish that we would celebrate our culture and our community every single day of the year. This month, we're recognizing what so many of us already know that are here from personal experience, and that's that the values of our community are the same values that shape our region's greatness. Hard work, sacrifice. I mean, Deanna was talking about it, and I think Laura also about the commitment and the perseverance that it takes to run a business. And Gabe mentioned that as well. I want to remind you that in Missouri, in 2023, the spending power of the Hispanic community is supposed to be $7 billion, up from $1 billion this year. 94.9% of all Hispanic eligible workers are employed. And I mentioned earlier that there are over 125,000 eligible voters in Missouri. And then also Missouri ranks 9th for bachelor's degrees or higher. So to the Latino community out there, we are a powerhouse. We need to own it. We need to do more with it. And to the people that are either looking for us to speak, to be on boards, that are trying to do outreach because they're trying to sell us their services. I mean, the 50% of our community has home ownership. So we are definitely a powerhouse. So please know that we can make a difference, but you also have to invest in the outreach that you do, invest in the translations and in the interpretation and in the services that you provide, because it's not enough to say, se habla español, because first of all, that's not technically correct. Secondly, I can't walk in the door with a sign and then get in there and you don't speak Spanish or you don't have resources for me. And that doesn't mean, I don't want to bog everybody down thinking that you now have to have a budget for all of this. There are so many organizations like GABA, La Placita, Gabe, eShip that are already doing some of this work. But how can we work together to uplift each other? Because at the end of the day, like I said, we are a powerhouse. The Hispanic population is continuing to grow, more so in KC than in St. Louis. So we need to invest in it. That's our future right there. It's a job for all of us. And my last plug will be about the census. Somebody mentioned the other day that, it wasn't their business if her neighbor voted. Hell yes, it's my business if my neighbor voted. Because when it's time for my kid to go to school, they're not going to say, well, you didn't fill out the census, so we don't have your $1,300. They're not going to care. They're just going to say we have limited resources. So doing the work to make sure that all of our communities are counted, not just the Hispanic community, even though that's where my focus is, but all of our communities need to be counted so that the cities and the counties and the states that we live in have the resources that we need to truly function. There's a whole population that's undercounted that's going to affect the lives of everybody that lives there. Sorry, I'm on a soapbox.
No, you're good.
It's a crazy important soapbox to get on it. Not enough people are talking about the census.
Yeah.
We are doing a terrible job. Except you. You're doing great. All right, Gabe. What are we not talking about that we need to be?
Mr. Facebook himself.
Seriously.
That's my debut, right? No, let me think here. So it's the mindset, I think, in the Latino community that we always fly under the radar. We don't try to make noise or anything because we don't want to cause any trouble ever. I mean, that was what our parents taught us, at least for me growing up. And it's this mindset that we never want to cause trouble, and it's time for us to start speaking up, not just for our own communities and causes, but also for our Black brothers and sisters as well. And we need to start working on really developing these relationships with the Black and Brown communities, so we can help support each other. And so, yeah, just getting out of our comfort zones, starting to build these bridges between our communities. So
Love it.
keep it there.
Laura, do it.
All right. So, what are we talking about? What are we not talking about? Well, you're right. Fucking vote. I did it. And don't just vote. Like, run an election. Get into the political process. Like, if you are a person of color, fucking run for something. Something. I don't care. School board. Like, I don't care. Neighborhood association. Get started in that process, because I don't want, my 30-year-old child to be like, well, we still don't have representation. Like, no, I don't have a 30-year-old child, but nobody wants that. Like, come on, run. If you don't run, you're not, like, what are we doing? And support people of color who run. I don't care if they, like, made you mad because they cut you in the Costco line. Fuck all that shit. Like, go support them, vote for them, donate to their campaign. Like, today is election deadline for campaign elections. Go find a person of color, drop $5. It matters. It like goes really big. And like, for Latino people, I've heard some of the panelists already say this. Black Lives Matter. It's not a movement, it's a statement. Y'all, people are dying because they're Black. That includes a lot of Afro-Latinos, and it shouldn't even matter. Like, this shit is real. And if we're not doing something about it, we're just stuck. Just like, go to community, hit the streets, go support Black businesses, go support businesses, Latino businesses, go ask Black and Latino owners, how did you get here? What are you struggling with? Make those connections, because like, if we don't have each other's back as people of color, we're letting the newest minority, y'all, like, this should blow your mind. We're letting them beat us with less numbers. Art of war, where does that happen? It shouldn't. So, like, do something about it.
I love it.
Yes, thank you. Suzanne.
What everybody else said. Definitely, something that really got me was what Deanna said. There's so many people out there in Kansas City doing some awesome work, and I usually always just see the same people, and I always ask myself, what about everybody else that's doing something? That is definitely one big thing. Another thing is to get out there, to notice the small businesses, not just the big companies or the big restaurants or big businesses that have been out here for years and years and years and years, that really, they're already established. What about the small businesses? What about Central Avenue? What about Independence Avenue? What about, all of those businesses out there? Also, you guys support La Placita. Coming out to La Placita October 3rd, October 17th, which is our last event. So, come out and support, come out and get to know, our vendors, get to know what it is that we're doing out there. And, let your platform also know. And that would really be awesome. Not just La Placita, but our Day of the Dead events, or, other programs that GABA offers also would be awesome. So that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that was great advice. Edgar.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Thank you for leaving me at the end because I had chance to think about what I was gonna say, and I believe what we need to talk or continue talking about and push the message that we need to push is very simple. We need to recognize our strength as Latinos. We need to recognize where that strength comes from and never forget it, because if we forget it, we'll be assimilated, we'll be taken advantage of, and continue being pushed down by what Lara says, minorities. And we cannot let that happen because we're too strong and we're too well built. Okay, we're the biggest group of mixed race, and by that, we're the biggest disruptor of the whole system. Now, let's recognize how are we a disruptor of the system. There are several ways we're disrupting by numbers. Okay, we have a strong culture. We have strong values, family values. We don't recognize the need to kick our people out when they're become 18 years old, just to make them one more number for the financial system, to get rent, to get credit cards, to get loans, get in debt, and die trying. We help them. It's okay to live, 3 generations in the same house. Why? Because we're helping each other's economy, and we're helping each other's education, and we're helping each other's future, and building strong ties. And we're not abandoning our communities. It's okay to have ownership, even if it is a brick, small house, a rundown house. It's okay to own it and fix it up ourselves, because then we're not falling for the larger building, larger community, the urban core, and we're still staying suburban, but owning our future. And that is a disruptor to the community, to the system. It's okay to recognize that Latino women in numbers are marrying Black Americans the most. And also, Latino men in numbers are marrying more white women the most. And the fact is, we're bringing them to our table and bringing everybody to our table. And I call these the grandma's table, because everybody has a place at grandma's table. It doesn't matter who you are, where you went, as long as you're family, you have a place in grandma's table. And everybody coming to that table equalize or life or structure. And then we quote unquote make our enemies or friends or family. That is a strong power. Recognize that the use of savings, there is many organizations that teach us about how to keep control of our finances, keep our credit scores, keep all of that under wrap. But none of them are teaching us or telling us that savings is the best thing we can do, and hold on to our money or cash is the best thing we can do until we have enough to buy in one single payment the truck, the house, the equipment, whatever we need. That makes us big disruptors of the system, and we really need to continue teaching our new generations that power. And by that, we truly be great assets to the community and changers of our future for better. Bringing everybody together, being the center of community, because we accept everybody and we're accepted by everybody the most. Now, we came into a world that we didn't make. We didn't create racism. We didn't create segregation. We didn't create displacement. We came into that knowing that we don't deserve anything, but we can make everything happen on our own, by our own strength and passion. So recognizing our own strengths and power is the best way, the best thing we can do. And that conversation needs to be at everybody's table. And those values have to really be set on stone for the Latino community, because those values make us the strongest community, part of the community, and the biggest disruptor to the system of financial slavery.
Yeah.
I love it. So much passion, Edgar. We appreciate it. This is lessons learned right here, all around, right? All around the table. This is lessons learned. I mean, we all need it. You know, this is information that everybody needs, right? And sometimes some of the things that we know to be true, we try to not listen to some of those things if it makes too much sense, right? Like it's like when your mom used to tell you certain things, or your dad or grandpa used to tell you certain things, and you're like, I hear it, I hear you, but I'm gonna do this over here. But it makes sense, right? It all makes sense, man.
Let me give you one last thing, real quick. So Gabriela was talking about the future of the buying power of the Latino market in a couple of years being of 7 million. Okay, today the buying power that is being exercised by the Caucasians, by the white community, is way larger than that. Way larger than that. However, 40% of that in the middle class, 40% of their buying power is going to credit, it's going to interest, it's going to loan payments, nothing to the principal. I want that $7 billion in a couple of years to be 80% going to principal and 20% going to interest. And those loans need to be only to buy equipment, to buy tools, to buy property that will keep its value and generate more money for our economy.
Yep.
Awesome.
That is buying power.
That is.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Well, guys,
we did.
I think we killed the show.
I think we did.
I think the show is done. It's been killed. We appreciate you all, man. You guys are wonderful, man. You guys are a part of what the community needs, more of what the community needs. And we appreciate you all for doing the work that you guys do. You all are phenomenal. Chico, you all are dope.
You are dope.
You guys are dope. Gabriela, Edgar, Gabe, Susanna, Laura. You guys are phenomenal, man. We just appreciate you guys coming on.
Yes, Sharon, you're dope.
Yeah, thanks so much. This was awesome.
We appreciate you guys coming on, man, and just being open.
Morgan, you're dope.
Absolutely. We just appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, we do these shows, and you know, Morgan always says this when we get off our shows, and it's just like, and I'm a cuss too, so it's okay. I'm a prep to it. I'm gonna cuss. Listen to this, right? No, but Morgan always says, like, how the hell do we get such good guests and good conversation to come out of folks that some is you know, some of you guys know each other, and sometimes we bring people together that don't know each other, and we still are able to have some really great conversations, man, and really pour into the community. So we just, like I said, man, we just appreciate you all and you all's openness and candor. And Gabriela, please let us know in offline how well or how horrible we did in this show. And so give us some tips and pointers on how we can get better, because we're always interested in getting better. But yeah, so I think we're gonna close the show out.
Thank you. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Thank you, everybody that attend on our show, as far as the guests, as far as who's leaving comments. Thank you.
Awesome.
Morgan.
Thanks. Have a good dinner.
Thank you all. It's been fun.
We'll get you on Facebook, Gabe.
All right. Maybe see me there in a couple hours. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to something. Kevin just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to something. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to something. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking though, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cuz I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me different every time I stay in life and make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blacks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys though too, like I'm up to something. I'm up to something.